Welcome back, fellow mothers, to the other half of the baby. And if that confuses you, you should have watched to the end of the last video, however rough that might be. And if you watched the last video and you're still confused, that's okay. So am I. I'm going to be a judgy Judy about art. I'm getting so good at that. It's getting natural. Fun fact about those paintings. I bought those each about a decade ago for $15 from a homeless man in Texas who made them with nothing but newspaper and spray paint. That's a true story. But on to the books. That's what we're here for. The web novels. First up, Isaac Unknown. This is, once again, we're starting off with a ringer. Look at that. Look at that bad boy. I just want to admire that. That is a beautiful one. So right away, we're on the professional scale. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous one. It looks handmade. That looks like it was made with pencils and paper and red paint. I love this one. So right away, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7 out of 10 on the professional scale. It's great. My issues come in, just a few issues aesthetically, in that it's way too overcrowded. If you look in this region, okay, maybe I'm not so good at this. This region, there's just a ton of words. We got the Albatross Tales, book 1. You have a name, and then you have a bunch of symbols. Symbols are basically the same as words. All letters are symbols. So I mean, you got like look up here. There's a nuclear symbol right there on that tooth by the canine. That's weird. I don't know how to interpret that. There's a random whiskey thing. There's this book is Islamic. This is an Islamic book. Look on the bottom. There is a star and crescent. I kid you not. So it's just a little too crowded, but what I have here is great. It looks folksy. It looks occultish, and it looks Islamic. Next up. Oh my goodness. You'd never guess what that was. Next up, we have Kaiba's Prostitute. So the name right away, it's a weird name for any story. And then it appears to be going for humors. You have chickens and hens. This is a weird one because I'm not sure if it's going for comedy. Like, it looks like, ooh, so random, so funny. But at the same time, it has prostitute in the title, right? And then look at the chickens. There's one hen and a bunch of the reverse that. There's one female and a bunch of males. So it's on theme. It's being presented in a cutesy way. So I'm not sure how serious this is. If this is 100% serious, if this is the author's attempt to make a compelling cover, this is a 5 out of 5. This is perfect. This is hilarious. If this is tongue-in-cheek, if they meant it to be funny, it's far less hilarious. But I guess the joke's on me because I can't tell the difference. So it's a 0 and a 5 until we find out. None of that Schrödinger stuff. Schrödinger's cat? No, we don't do that here. No one understands that story. That's a whole rant on its own that I'm not going to get into. But yeah, you don't take the Schrödinger's cat thing literally. It's never the intent. This is reminiscent. This is like, okay, I'm going to get mean for a second, but I don't think the author is going to be any surprised here. This is like the crappy version of a trend you see a lot in modern books. Where is it? Okay. So I don't know if this is what started it, but this it's a modern trend. I've seen it. I was just at the bookstore the other day, and you see a lot of books now just have like a one really simplified symbol and like a background. This is the same thing, just crappy. This is where homemade gets confusing because it's clearly not like painted. It's not handmade with a crayon or pencils or anything. It's handmade with a computer program, right? So at what point do you just find a picture of a crown on stock images and just overlay that into a cool background and you have like almost a professional quality for what they do? I mean, I don't think it's an interesting book cover at all. Like, this tells us nothing more than the title. So yeah, this is a 1 out of 5. It's well below average. Now we have something that once again goes in the I self-publish on Amazon list. Looks good. No complaints. Definitely thinking dark fantasy, maybe even grimdark. Whenever I see an eclipse in fantasy, I think of Berserk. So I think immediately I go to grimdark.
Mother of God!
5 out of 5 web novel, self-published on Amazon. This is the sequel to the weird ghost collage from the previous video. This one's less confusing. This one makes more sense, but also at the same time it looks worse. Just because it's very simple, just a woman and a circuit board. So just generic sci-fi. It doesn't tell us a lot. And this almost has the opposite program. Once again, we got taglines. I love the author for adding these in. But while the other one was simple but redundant, this one is not redundant, but there's just a lot going on here. So, maybe don't have the tagline tell a story in itself. I guess for a web novel, you don't have a back of the book for people to pick up and read, but, well, that's weird. And the bottom left, it almost has like a moon superimposed. What's good is a weird collage thing. It feels like a high school art project, like this is what a high schooler thinks is artistic. But I don't know, it's fine. It's a 3 out of 5. At least this one doesn't confuse me. This is just an anime picture. Oh, it's a furry anime picture. Well, that's, I feel like I come up with furry stuff a lot already. This is a new channel and I've already talked about furries far more than I want to. But that's on you guys. That's not on me. I can't be held responsible for the content of your character. So what does this tell us? Absolutely nothing. It's gonna be weird. I mean, what's even the purpose of putting that on the cover unless it is gonna be a weird sex thing? I guess I'll just assume it's a weird sex pervert story. What else is there to take away? The color scheme is also really kind of boring, so I don't know. But if it is a weird sex pervert story, you're not selling that very well. All you got is the weird ears. 2 out of 5. This one I hate. For one very specific reason. It's like a multimedia. This is like an elementary school project visually. There's like 4 different styles going on over here. You have a heart that's like smeared in blood over here. You got yarn down here. The people look one way. It looks like the hopscotch was drawn with a T-square and a level in Microsoft Paint. It's really, really jarring on like a gradient. So this is visually really off-putting, to be honest. And there's like all the colors, so many different colors, and none of it goes together. I don't like this one. This 0.5. This actually turns me off. I'm giving this one a 0.5. This one actually turns me off from reading your novel. Just think about it. Does yarn look good with blood-smeared heart? No. The people aren't even the same style. I'm assuming they become adults. I'm going to say this is a gay romance. As far as the speculation portion of this goes, gay romance. Next. That is just Mercy from Overwatch. I've seen this before. Not that I like that game. I actually hate that game. But that's what that is. It looks better than just your standard anime profile, but at the same time, unless they look really visually interesting, like what's this telling us? I guess your reader has a picture of what Natasha looks like in their head. I guess is that what you're going for here? I guess. I don't know. I guess if you think about it, it's like the crappy version of like those YA novels you see on the shelf, where you'll just have like a person standing there with kind of like a computerized background. Example up here. that I Googled. Like, I can't even think of a fake example in my head. And I don't, just for the record, I don't think those are good either. I think those are below, I think these are below average. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. Why not? I mean, I don't know. It's probably a personal preference on that one. While in the past, I have been confused whether or not stories were supposed to be fetishes or supposed to be pornographic. This one, I feel like I don't have to do the guesswork. So in that regard, good job. I know what I know what I'm getting into when I see the cover. And as far as that goes, also good job. It's to the artist's credit, they try to make a picture. There's like shadows and stuff. Like that's a good effort. It has a weird blocky style to it, so I don't love that. But also credits to it's not like overt. Like this is downplayed. Leaves something to the imagination. Little titillating. Not my type. I don't know. I don't find her attractive. Maybe a nice redhead next time. Yeah. That would go straight up to 5 out of 5. Slap a title on it that's also tips your hat without being too sleazy, and you've got yourself. I would be really surprised if this wasn't smut. I know. 4 out of 5. Very Japanese, but also very sleek, very cool. Progressive detective. So this, I'm going to theorize, this is a story about Flo's origin story from Progressive Insurance. This little anime girl is going to come and look at the scene of a car accident and decide who's at fault. Does Progressive have to pay out? Read the story and find out. It's really sleek though. I like it. 5 out of 5. Not a book cover, not a web novel cover. Still really cool. This is a cool picture. If you're just going to put a picture that's absolutely not a web novel cover, at least make it cool. And they did that. This looks like something like concept art for a video game. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Maybe someone like Minecraft. Maybe they like this is where their Minecraft fan art and they repurposed it for a novel. It looks really cool. As far as these things go, I mean, it's a 5 out of 5. This looks like paper craft. Have you ever seen that before? Just like cut out bits of paper layered on top of each other. The color scheme is nice. It's nice. It's a nice reds and yellows and golds and yeah, it's cute. It's got a cute dog. Dog has some hearts. It's really inoffensive. I don't mind this at all. This would be a 4 out of 5 and a 4 out of 10 if it was a professional book. Like either way, this is appealing to look at, even if there's not a lot going on. The name reincarnated as a crystal beast. I don't get any of that from your title here. Not for the title. Obviously, I get the title from the title. I don't get any of the title from the presentation. Is the dog a crystal beast? Is the dog made of? I don't see. That's weird. I don't know. The dog died and got reincarnated as a crystal beast, which I don't know what that is either. My favorite one out of the set. This. Wow. Let's look at that for a second. That is beautiful. Revelation. I guess Lord of the Kingdom of Bone Revelation. This is right away professional. This is professional grade. Not really. It doesn't look like a book cover, but it looks like a comic book cover. This is fantastic. This gets an 8 out of 10 for me. This is the best one we've done so far, bar none. Not even a question. And really, the only thing that stops it from being higher, because there's some really cool stuff here, is that like if you look at the background does look like it was made in like a paint program. It has that weird splotchiness to it. And just in terms of composition, the title is kind of just slapped on there. Like I like the gradient on the title, but like it just like, you know, like normally like a title's in like a blank space or like a really aesthetically pleasing place. This is just like, where can we squeeze it? Let's just put it where we gotta. So once again, that's judging it as a professional work. 8 out of 10. It's better than most books I've seen. Missed. That's what you get for not looking. Another hand-painted work. But unlike the one from last week, this is awful. Like even if I saw this at just like on someone's wall, I would say, why do you have that painting? I hate this painting. I hate this painting a lot. It's like bleached and blurred out, and there's like, you're looking at the sun, so everything's just kind of too bright. Why? And it doesn't tell us anything about your book. I hope not. Is your book bright? That doesn't make sense. Is your book... There's a joke here. I swear it. Is someone escaping a cellar? That's the only thing I could guess by looking at this. But if someone's escaping a cellar, that's normally a dark thing. That's like you're trapped in a serial killer's basement. It's scary. This is way too bright to be scary, so I don't know where you're escaping from, that it's a happy and cheery place. Maybe the serial killer... That's a horrible joke. I'm not even going to finish that sentence. Look close. I'm going to zoom in here for you. This is free. They out of all the free images, they chose this painting for free. And you can even see the Shutterstock or whatever. Everything's wrong. Everything's wrong. It's not offensive. It doesn't make me hate it, but it's a 1 out of 5. Ew. Ew. Really simple. I talked about papercraft before. This looks like it is papercraft. I'm assuming this is made with some sort of artistic thing. I myself don't know about the artistic thing because I am only slightly artistic. But yeah, it's cool. This is a great example of putting a title in there. There's a great spot for your title right there. Slap it on. But Tentacle Monster, Loot Boxes, and Apocalypse. That's a fun title. It's a well-presented one. I'm going to give this one a... it's almost too simple. If you just had a title, I'd be really happy. I'd give it a 3.5. A title would bring it up to a 4.5, believe it or not. Wait, is this a... Anytime there's tentacles, I hesitate. This could be promiscuous. Are you a sex pervert? I like this one. This is a really cool picture. Probably pretty simple to make if you don't want to throw shade here. But it's just like those eyes that look like nice cat eyes. And you got, I guess it's a monster cat, as all cats are. So take note of that. But no, got a really cool color scheme. And yeah, 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. And I think the only reason it's not higher is because you can't even tell the genre. At least with like sometimes something that's poor made, you can at least be like, okay, that's fantasy. This could be a horror. This could be like a Stephen King novel. This could be a fantasy novel. This could literally be sci-fi. This could be anything except perhaps romance. Normally, if you're trying to sell a romance book, you don't put calamity in the title. I mean, if you're going to do an anime picture, this is probably the right way to do it. And as an aside, this looks like a Fire Emblem character. Example here. Looks good. You fill all the empty space with a bunch of random crap that actually adds a lot to it, makes it more visually interesting. The title is fun and a fun font. This is a strong 5 out of 5. I actually really like this one, even though, as an aside, personal preference, I don't like anime pictures. I don't think I've tipped my hat one way or another there, but as far as that goes, that's phenomenal. Because normally with anime, you get just someone slaps an anime drawing on screen and that's all you got. That's normally why I don't like it, I think. And sometimes they're, I don't know, disproportionate. The model. You know what I'm talking about. This looks like a Joe Abercrombie book. This is phenomenal. We got a professional one here as well. This is really good. It's sleek, it's professional, it's reminiscent of a professional work I've seen before. So I don't know if you were specifically taking inspiration from Joe Abercrombie, but that's what it looks like the blade itself, that kind of series. But 7 out of 10, super solid, samurai swords. That's all you need to know. That's a solid cover. Speaking of anime profile pictures, or I guess web novel covers, did I mention disproportionate before? I mean those are some big thighs, which I'm all for. But when you're drawing it yourself, I mean that's says something about you, the writer, more so than the person looking at it. The color scheme's good though. I actually really like the color scheme. The color scheme is nice. Oh, it's furry too. So many furry things. I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. You just slap some ears on it. How is that any different than a normal human being? What is slapping ears on someone even? What's the appeal? I actually want you to comment and tell me what the appeal is, because I don't get the appeal. Not that I get the appeal of a full animal either. Let's be clear on that. But just the minimalistic slapping ears on. What's the appeal? So I don't know, 3 out of 5. It's a really nice color scheme, which it's just a shame I kind of dislike everything else about it. Another beautiful book. I love this one. This is gorgeous, and it's kind of like out of the ordinary too. So this is professional. It's like a dark tome, like a magic tome. It's got great symmetry. It's got everything I want. This is gorgeous. Also, in terms of composition, this is probably the cleanest. This is like really well thought out. So probably 7 out of 10 professionally. It doesn't climb higher because it is really safe. It's basically just like a symmetrical pattern, presented pretty coolly. But yeah, this could be horror. This could be fantasy. Drinker of the Yew. That's also a pretty cool title. I like the title. I don't know what it means. Yew is a tree. Y-E-W, in case you're just listening. I don't know why you would do that with a video specifically about judging covers, but Y-E-W, Drinker of the Yew. Maybe it's a pun. I don't know. It's interesting though. I want to know. I mean, there's personality in the presentation, I guess. And she's got weird elf ears. I don't know. I'm just I'm passing. All right, so that's everything we had for this. Are you ready for the bonus round? It's only fair to submit my own covers. It's especially fair since I dislike them and will judge them harshly. First up. Well, visually, this looks like a nightmare. I took like a picture of like a magnetic spectrum or atom or something and just turned the contrast up and cropped it. I think it has cool lines, but I think it looks like puke. This is unicorn puke. This is disgusting to look at. It visually hurts my eyes. This gets a 0.5. I really, really hate this one. Next up, this was made for me by someone else. They whipped it up in 5 minutes in like a program, and then I went back and touched up some of the colors as best I could to make it more visually interesting. Fine, it's actually a scene from my prologue, so at least it represents the book in some way. But I don't know. I feel like you have like a printing press mentality with these programs that have like built-in backgrounds and built-in color schemes and whatnot. It has that veneer. Anyway, 3 out of 5. I think this is fine. And then my current one, which once again, not a banger. This is not a real winner either. It is just a simple shape, touched up in sketchbook. Doesn't represent the book all that well, but I like the simplicity. If anything, it probably misrepresents it. I don't know why space, just to have a visually interesting background. So I don't know. Also 3 out of 5. It's acceptable, visually clean. And then the one I hate the least, which is the best I can say for my own stuff, is my second series, which is, I don't know. I took a free image. I feel like it looks like those things when you go to the dentist and they take an x-ray on the side of your head. I don't think that's quite it because it doesn't look like a complete skull, but it's clearly a skull in some degree. So when you're doing a story about death, it's fun. I'm happy with this. 4 out of 5. I'll give myself a 4 out of 5 on that. I think that's fine. People's works on the forums, they want it judged in some way. Not covers. I used it for that, which will make more sense in the next video. But this is really fun. I'm not going to lie. This is really fun to do. So I'm going to do this again on different web novels, different sites. Going to pick some stuff. And that'll give me some more freedom to find worse stuff and perhaps find stuff I don't know what it's about, and I can look up the summary afterwards. A bunch of fun stuff you can do with that. And I can also be really mean without feeling badly, because I'm a sarcastic person. I don't get to be sarcastic doing these videos very often, just because I'm trying to be positive. So that'll be a really good opportunity to flex the muscles. Tell me what you think. What did I get wrong? What did I get right? And what was your favorite? Because I think we should all agree that the undisputed best one was Revelation. There was the subheading. Although there was some strong competition this time, and there was also some really weak ones this time.